The top 10 ways real estate agents can get comfortable in sales and overcome the fear of rejection. Man, this absolutely affects everyone. So let's get into it. Okay, fear of rejection is one of the biggest things that keeps agents from prospecting, following up, asking for appointments, asking for referrals, right? And generally asking for business. And the goal isn't to eliminate rejection. It's to get so comfortable that it doesn't stop controlling your activities. So let's go right in. The first thing, you got to stop making every no personal. They're not necessarily rejecting you. And this is a key thing to understand. It could be they're rejecting the timing, the call, the offer, the price, the commitment, or they simply aren't ready, right? Instead of thinking they don't like me, just think, hey, they're not ready yet. We'll go to the next conversation. Um, so one great rule that you want to do is separate your self-worth from the prospect's response. Okay, next thing, make sure you get subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and do it really quickly. And then jump in the free coaching group and the paid coaching group. There'll be links in there that will help you speed up and really get things improving on your end. Okay, let's get back to it. Number two is set daily conversational goals, not closing goals. This is a big difference. So you can't completely control whether someone lists or buys today, right? But you can control how many conversations you have. So instead of, oh, I need to get a listing today, try to focus on minimum of 10 real estate conversations, right? And if you don't have appointments, as you get better and better, we're going to move that up, right, to 20 or 25. So if you're consistently hitting your goals, appointments and transactions will follow. We know that over time. And if you have to start with just one, start with one. I want to meet you where you're at. Okay, three. This one's kind of fun. You can play the get five no's game, right? So it completely changes your relationship with rejection. So if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to collect five no's today or 10 no's or whatever it is, now, now something interesting can happen. No isn't a failure anymore, right? No equals progress towards goal because once you start knowing your numbers, you're going to realize that, okay, every X amount of no's, five no's, 10 no's, 15, whatever it is going to lead you to an appointment on average. So the faster we can get those, in a way, we still want to do our best every one, but it's not a negative. It's building towards that positive. Okay, so collecting five no's, you actually are making offers, you're asking questions, you're asking for appointments. So you're still progressing, you're still getting opportunities. And then of course, find out what they said no and how you could have done better on each one and just improve. And then you'll see over time the ratio is going to start to get better. And now as you're collecting no's, it might have gone from let's say 10 no's, right? And now it's to nine or eight. And once you're hitting your numbers, you know you're just that much closer. So I really do like that approach to it. It's a fun way, even if you're getting a little bit of rejection, that's okay. We know we're building up towards the yes. Okay, this one is great. So practice rejection before you experience it. So you want to role play the uncomfortable situations. So have another agent hit you with, hey, we're already working with an agent. Your commission is too high. We're going to wait. We're just looking. I'll call you when we're ready. Then practice responding calmly. When they say we're not interested, say, hey, totally understand. But before I let you go, is it more that you're not interested in moving at all or just not interested right now? Repetition creates confidence. So this is another thing that I would do. I would write down every objection I get, and then I would practice different ways to try to attack that. And I sometimes would start, if I saw a commonality, I would start asking questions that would potentially overcome it ahead of time, right? So first, I just want to be able to respond with one, then maybe two, and then maybe get two or three, because sometimes um, one wouldn't work, but a second one would, or the third one would, right? Or if it's just no, it's okay. And then if I could anticipate what they were going to say ahead of time, and I could be better in my presentation to avoid that or eliminate the question I was getting, that would work itself into. So you just keep improving and get the best you can each time, but make sure you're practicing and role playing. Okay, number five, Stop trying to convince people. This is a huge mindset shift. So we're not great salesmen people. We're not going to try to force them to say yes. We're going to try to discover where there's a problem and that we can help solve. So we're going to ask more questions, right? Well, what's prompting the move? What's keeping you from moving forward? What would need to happen for this to make sense? If you did decide to sell, when would you ideally want to move? So this kind of takes pressure off yourself. So be curious instead of just convincing, right? And then be ready to respond when they do have those. Okay, number six. This one is true also. So you're going to use scripts until you don't need them. Often agents are afraid of rejection because they don't know what they're going to say next. Totally agree with this. When you're not comfortable with the subject or with the script or the presentation, that's why we have scripts, right? But you don't need to necessarily memorize them like a robot. They definitely want to feel natural with pauses, right? So you can memorize the structure, the questions, discover motivation, handle the objections, ask for the appointment. But the more prepared you are, the less intimidating the conversation becomes. And I'm going to tell you this, and this is just straight up truth. So this is a pro tip. Even though I would try to follow my scripts, right, of whatever ones I was using, I'm gonna say there was often times it would go off, but because I knew the subject so well, I could still get an appointment even if it went off script, and then I would try to get them back on track, right? To continue the proven path, if you will. But sometimes you have to go off. And if you only are going off script, it can be very challenging, right? When you don't know because they're not following the exact script. But when you know the content really well, okay, you'll be able to move back, answer whatever they're doing, or talk about that, and then kind of bring it back. Especially when once you're now not following the sequence, it doesn't work. You got to know it really well. This is practice, practice, practice. And a good way that I have found is read out that script 10 times a day for a week, and you will start to become very familiar with it. Then you're going to go to practicing it with people and then role play. But first step is just getting really comfortable with that script. Okay, number seven, follow the 3-second rule. So one of the worst things you do is sit there staring at the phone. I know we're thinking, 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 then decide, oh, I'll call them later. We've all done it. Okay, when you know you need to make that call, you can say, hey, three, two, one, dial, and then you just call. So action before your brain has a chance to decide. There's 17 reasons why you shouldn't do it. The same applies to sending the follow-up text or asking. Would Tuesday or Wednesday work better to me? Right? You've got to just take action and do it and count to 3 seconds and then go. Okay, number eight, track your sales math. This one is actually really fun because it's going to help you know what you need to do. So rejection becomes easier, much easier when you understand the numbers. Imagine your numbers eventually show, okay, 100 conversations, we'll set 15 appointments, which you'll get 5 clients and 2 closings. And it could be anything. These are just random numbers for you, right? Suddenly the conversations that don't convert aren't meaningless. They're part of your pipeline, right? You start thinking, hey, I don't need everyone to say yes. I just need enough conversations. So when you track your own numbers, rather than relying on someone else's conversion rates, you're going to see what you actually need. And this is the really cool part. They're going to improve over time if you're putting an effort to improve. I love that part, right? So your ROI is going to get better, right? Especially than someone that isn't practicing or isn't doing this all the time. Okay, number nine, celebrate the ask, not just the yes. Okay, agents often celebrate right closings. Those are so fun, but ignore the behavior that creates the closing, right? So you start celebrating making the calls you didn't want to make. Okay, that's a win. Asking for an appointment, I love that. Following up with the difficult leads, asking for referrals, calling the for sale by owners or expireds or the listings, right? Asking someone to sign. Hey, if you asked and they said no, you still completed behavior. That's a huge win. And as you keep doing this, as you get the attempts, I promise you the other things will follow. So celebrate, right, those parts as well. Okay, and number 10, guys, you made it here. Thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe. Jump in those free and paid groups. I'll throw in a little bonus in there when you go in those. that will be helpful. Okay, and I'll give you a couple pro tips of mine as well. So number 10, do the thing you're afraid of every day. Confidence usually comes after repetition, not before it. So if you're afraid of cold calling, cold call. If you're uncomfortable asking for appointments, ask for the appointments. If you're nervous about listing presentations, practice the listing presentations. If you're uncomfortable asking for business, ask for business. So your first 10 conversations might feel uncomfortable, but your next 100 become a little bit easier. So after hundreds of conversations, rejection starts to feel something very different, normal. Thank you guys so much. I hope this really, really helps. I promise you, we all start out a little bit nervous or uncomfortable with this, and you have to overcome that fear of rejection, and you need to get comfortable in sales. This is going to tremendously help as you start building that confidence, you become comfortable, and you create those habits. Everything will get easier, and you will start to continue to have success and build on that. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you very, very much, and have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.